Hello everyone, I'm Chester44, also known as Fly, and welcome to this Let's Play of Queen's Wish 2, The Tormentor! Last episode, we went through the fire pits and spoke with a drake. Did a few things there, things are nice and handled. Now, while we could try and go into Malachite Keep to clear that out and complete that main quest, I think what I'm going to do instead is head into the High Litha. I want to get more of that Quicksilver so that I can get some more upgrades and the like, and more upgrades for the other gear we have. So, we're going to head up to the Tower of the Erudico, head through it, which we've already cleared it out, and head into the High Litha. Our first stop is most likely going to be our fort, which is just to the west. So, let's head over there right now. Fortunately, we've already been through the tower, so we can head up there nice and easily. Let's get to our fort. Gentle Coast south, High Litha north, Tower of the Erudico south. The valley opens up into a high plain, a broad stretch of windswept scrubland high up in the mountains of the Rocage. The wind is bitter cold, and you can see wide patches of snow higher up. The trees are hardy evergreens, and edible plants and game are few and far between. You have entered the High Litha, one of the Rose 4 provinces. It is large in land, but low in population. A cold and austere land for a cold and austere people. This will not be a comfortable visit. Your orders were clear. Contact and judge their governor. Find their Rasa and hear his petition. It's sort of hard to concentrate on all that. Right now, you just want a place to get warm. High Litha. There's a large encampment and guard post at the entrance to the High Litha. There aren't a lot of guards, though. Makes sense, there isn't much up here to raid. The Lithans here welcome you and motion for you to sit. You are provided with tea and coarse bread. They are quiet and reserved folk. They don't talk a lot. There's no gossip or news of the road. Happily, they are willing to answer questions. They're here to guide and protect travelers, after all. Tell me about the High Litha. One of the Lithans speaks for them all. He shows no insignia or other signs of rank. We are a poor and simple people scraping by in the high mountains. We wish to be left alone, but we accept our fate. Any threats on the road? Things are more peaceful up here in the mountains. The lower folk respect us and leave us be. We are the true keepers of the deep truth of the Rocage. I'd like to know more about that. We are not wise. We are only road guards. You come to see our Rasa, Prince? Rasa Suharum is wise enough to speak for us. Does Haven have a fort near here? Fort Hailstone is to the west. That's all I need. The Lithans quietly nod, satisfied that they have been useful. With regrets, you leave their fire and face the icy wind. Alright. A new day dawns, Granulon 14. Okay. Several armed Lithans are patrolling the road here. They don't want to talk, but they stand politely off to the side to let you pass. Jajayam north, Fort Hailstone to the west. Fort Hailstone is our goal. You find a group of scruffy soldiers patrolling the road. When you get close, you see with relief that they are Havenite soldiers. They're thrilled to see you and show you all appropriate courtesy. Their arms and armor are dirty and not well maintained, but they don't seem ashamed of it. You decide not to mention it. It can be very hard to keep things shiny out here on the edges of civilization. They tell you that Fort Hailstone is just down the road to the west, and your arrival was eagerly awaited. Perfect. And that appears to be the fort itself. You see massive reassuring walls in the distance. Walls means that you have found another of your fortresses. It is on the east side of the river, surrounded by mostly abandoned campsites and a few patches of struggling crops. This fort, like others you have seen, shows signs of neglect and disrepair. Many of the outbuildings have been abandoned, and the whole place needs supplies and repairs. At least the High Litha seems less chaotic and immediately rebellious than the other provinces. There's simply fewer people up here. And I wonder how this fort happens to be going completely wrong. Alright, let's head in. Okay, just uncover that bit there. You enter Fort Hailstone, Haven's fort in the lower half of the High Litha. It is a cold, gray place. As is usual for the High Litha, the streets are mostly empty, except for your soldiers training in the cold. Your arrival creates the expected reaction. Soldiers and officials come out to take a look at you. When you look at the crumbling buildings, they see them with fresh eyes and are appalled by how far this fort has been allowed to decay. This fort is now under your control. You have access to its resources, and you can rebuild its buildings and shops. Also, you can now recruit High Litha warriors in the edit party window. Hey, we got plenty of resources, which is exactly what I wanted. Alright, this is the tower. Which, yes, we could use it, but I'm not going to. There's all that. Alright. We have many resources now. Quite a lot of resources. The only thing we're low on is Quicksilver. But we have a bit. We'll be able to use it to do some improvements. Which I'd like to. Alright, we're not going to build anything yet. However, considering how cold it is here, I have a feeling I'm probably just going to put everything into buildings. It makes thematic sense, okay? It makes perfect thematic sense that here everyone would want to be in a building. Why would they not? It's friggin' freezing. Okay. Go around here. And there's the central building over here. Alright. So... Oh! There's a Havenite soldier waiting in front of this hall. She has a sword, bow, heavy satchel, and light leather armor. Her sword is covered with the dirt of a long journey on the road. She must be a courier. When she sees you, she runs up to you and bows. Greetings, Prince. I am Messenger Leshia. Greetings. I'm lucky to have found you. The roads are hard, and the High Lithans do not give helpful directions. Why have you sought me? I have been sent by General Angach of Lascara. There is unwelcome but urgent news. What is the news? Rasa Elha has been assassinated. You aren't sure how to feel, but Leshia definitely is unhappy. Rasa Elha? Rasa Elha? I'm pretty sure she was the one down in the coast. Remind me who Rasa Elha is? She was the Rasa of the Gentle Coast. She led them from her seat in Lascara. She is the woman who gave you permission to travel the pilgrimage road. You also met her briefly when passing through the Tower of the Erudico. How is the Rasa killed? I believe there was a magical explosion in her hall in Lascara. What am I supposed to do? Leshia is startled. Being asked for advice from a prince is not what she expected. Well, if you wanted to learn more or investigate, you could return to Lascara. There's going to be a lot of upset. The Ro are pretty touchy. My general could tell you more. That is all I can think of. Thank you for this news. Dismissed, she bows again. Thank you, Prince. I'm sorry that I don't have better tidings. I will return to my duties. She departs to safer lands. Well, that's a little worrying. The one Rasa who actually really liked us has been killed in a magical explosion. Well, that's a problem that we need to deal with very quickly. First things first, let's speak here in the fort and see what's going on here. The main hall of Fort Hailstone is run down, typical for a fort neglected and starved of supplies. The buildings and halls are cramped and in need of a good cleaning. The grandeur that Haven uses to intimidate its vassals is entirely absent. Still, it is warm, and there are beds upstairs you can use to rest. The chief is sitting in the hall, keeping warm by the fire. The few Lithans who bother to talk to Haven can come here to get petitions. None are here now. Chief Markov. The chief of Fort Hailstone is like the fort itself, old and worn down. He's your standard failed bureaucrat of Haven. He probably made some political mistake 20 years ago and was rewarded for it with a career in the ice. You've learned to recognize the type. He stands and bows to you with a resigned, doomed air.
Welcome, Prince, to Fort Hailstone. I am Chief Markov, and I truly appreciate this great honor. I apologize.
Apologize for what?
The fort is not in good condition. We did our best with the supplies sent up by the governors of the wealthier provinces. The results are not ideal.
There are problems. I am here to solve them.
And I have instructed my forces to do everything they can to help. The High Litha is poor, but that is no excuse for this mess.
Tell me more about your situation here.
It is mostly the same as it has been for all the years I have been here. This is a standard fort for the far edge of our empire. We are poor and ever under threat. We keep the walls up and our soldiers fed. This has always been enough. It may still be, though there have been some disruptions.
Why are all of our forts so neglected?
I can't speak for the other governors. I don't know what their forts are like. In the High Litha, we are reliant on the supplies and materials the lower governors send. They send little. Why? Well, you should meet the governors Otto and Yvette. Once you learn about them, their decisions may make more sense.
Right. 2 governors that need to be replaced. How long have you been here?
I have served Haven for 25 years. 20 of them have been here.
He spares you from sad tales about his career.
In 5 years, I retire with my soldier's pension. I want to feel the warmth of the sun before I die.
There have been some disruptions.
The High Litha is a land of ghosts. Normally, that is a bit of poetry. Lately, it's been more literal. The tombs and crypts of the mountains have had more dead walking than usual. I don't really worry about it, though.
You don't worry about it.
It's a standard phenomenon in any vassal that keeps lots of bodies in a magically rich area. These disruptions will happen from time to time. The High Lithans do seem a bit upset, I think. You'll find that it is hard to read them.
All right, then. Chief Markov sits with you and plies you with tea and unpleasant snacks. He shares the best of his fort with you, fully aware that it is inadequate. Oh well, at least the fire is warm. Tell me more about the High Litha.
Well, it is the largest, poorest, coldest, least populated province of the Rokaj. It occupies the wild, barren peaks of these mountains. The people here are severe and remote. I have been here so long and I've changed too little about them. Maybe that will change. They're much closer now.
Are you ever forced to interact with them?
Of course. They come to me to settle all sorts of little grievances. The clans up here squabble as much as everyone else. They are just not a demonstrative people. To outsiders, they say the minimum whenever possible.
You have learned nothing about them.
I have learned only the most important thing. Every row sees the High Lithans as the smartest and wisest among them. Lots of respect. To which I ask, if they're so smart and wise, why do they live in this wasteland? Don't tell them I said that.
How are they closer now?
One of their watchers asked to stay here. Governor Ivana told me to give him quarters upstairs.
Tell me more.
The High Lithans watch over the row. They help settle the major disputes among their people. To keep track of what is happening, they send out watchers to the provinces. We have one here. Lucky us. He's upstairs. Good luck getting him to talk.
I want to rebuild this fort.
I want to help. It should get a fresh coat of paint every generation or two. The High Litha doesn't have much wealth, though. A little wood, bad stone. The main thing mined up here is quicksilver. Valuable stuff for trading and for alchemy.
Sounds intriguing. Where can I get more quicksilver?
Haven owns a claim up here. It's called the Spiral Mine, a good producer of the ore that produces quicksilver. I'd love to put it at your disposal, but it's not been sending product. Not for weeks. If you can set them straight, I will happily put all they make at your disposal.
The Spiral Mine is an odd name.
It comes from a funny little nickname. There's something in its tunnels that plays with the minds of the miners. Makes them walk in spirals.
Oh no. I'm not going to like this, am I? Where is the Spiral Mine?
Dug out of a mountain to the west, across the river and across an icy waste.
What exactly is wrong there?
Honestly, I'm not sure. They sent regular shipments, then they stopped.
And you haven't investigated.
Of course I have. I send messages. They say everything is fine. I send soldiers to check in. They say everything seems fine. And then no quicksilver ever arrives. I'm hoping the presence of a prince will scare them into fixing their problems.
Right. Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to be dealing with some sort of mental effects in this whole thing, and I'm not liking that. Though this fort seems neglected and poorly supplied from the outside, it Its armory is filled to bursting with arms and armor. A lot of it is freshly made and oiled. Recently sent. Someone has been quietly preparing for warfare for some time. Oh dear. A magical workshop has been built here. It's a small room that's been crammed with all of the equipment that can fit. It's all new and barely used. The captain of the garrison here is a mage. She's setting up and testing the equipment. Its eventual purpose is not clear. Oh dear. Captain Tania. This young mage wears the insignia of captain on her robes. She is pale and thin like most people in the High Litha, yet she has managed to remain upbeat. Welcome, Prince. It is an honor. She bows deeply. I am Captain Tania of the Haven Military Sages, consultant to magical engineers. I hope our humble workshop meets with your approval. Tell me about this post, Captain. I don't have much to say yet. I am only a recent transfer. The air and the people are cold, but the land is beautiful, and I have a lot to do. I hope my years in this post pass quickly. How's the weather? Cold. Usually dry, though, and we get a share of the sun. It will be worse up in Glacier Keep. The upper Litha is pretty miserable, or so I hear. How's the food? It's raw food. Dried venison and bitter berries. Sustains life and makes you ready for war. Also, there's sour fermented raw drinks. Don't ask what they're fermenting in there, just choke it down. That's my advice. Why did you choose to come here? Wasn't my first choice, of course. I don't like suffering that much. I picked this post as part of a night and day exchange. Night and day? Oh, it's a standard practice. A young soldier takes a 5-year post somewhere lousy. In return, the next 7 years are somewhere nice and easy. 5 years of night, 7 years of day. Thinking of going to Sacramentum next. Restless and wild, of course, but lots of good opportunities for the ambitious. 5 years somewhere lousy, 7 years somewhere nice. That's a nice idea. I like that. Why have I never seen an idea like that in any other game where you're dealing with the military? That's very nice. I don't know if that's a situation in any real military, but hey, I love that idea a lot. Captain Tania wanders around her newly born workshop, making sure everything is functional and where it should be. She shows off all the equipment she has obtained. Getting good supplies up here, apart from Quicksilver, is quite difficult. I'd like to know more about the High Litha. I would too. It would make me a lot less nervous to be up here. They're hard folk to talk to, though. You're likely to learn more. What makes you nervous? When you talk to a Lithan, it's like none of their inner thoughts ever come out. It's like talking to a mask. You can see for yourself, there's a watcher upstairs. A watcher? Some sort of an important Lithan. Studies what is going on in the world and reports back to the clans up here. Then they make the decisions for all the people, just based on what the Watchers say. But I'm not here to judge. The Row get angry when they feel judged. Why would I be more likely to learn more? Because you're a prince. The High Lithans don't respect much, but they have to respect that, don't they? Plus there's also, the other thing. The other thing? You are half Row, aren't you? Your father is from here. Blood is important to these people. I'm sure they're all thinking about it, even if they say nothing. Any problems lately? Rumors of problems. The Row keep all their tombs up here. Normally they're just quiet caves full of bones guarded by wild beasts. Lately, though, the spirits walk. Tell me about the spirits. Lots of rumors of shades roaming through the old crypts. They have mages called mist talkers. They go and keep angry spirits under control, get them back to their graves. I'm not sure why the dead are walking and the Row aren't talking. Wild beasts. Any good hunting around here? Well, we do have a pest. Might make a good trophy for you. An ice drake has been hunting near here. Young, dumb, and arrogant. It's been getting closer and closer to vassal lands. Intriguing. Thought you'd like the sound of that. It's been hunting in the unsettled wilds due north of here, between here and the river. If you can kill it, I'd pay a bounty. Then I'd send a sage to gather some dried scales. North of here, between here and the river. Okay. That is... So it would be in this area here. Alright. So I think what we'll probably end up doing is going through this area here, then to Jajayam and clearing out here, and then clearing out the west side of the river. That's probably how we go. Alright, let's take a look upstairs. Ah, we've got some things here. This is a large storeroom, here to keep rations for long stretches of time. The High Litha can get snowed in for months. It's wise to keep lots of supplies around. All the shelves are empty. Odd. Very odd. The High Litha is the highest region of the Rokaj that still sustains a stable population. The folk who survive in the isolated villages of the High Litha are a quiet, stoic people. Outsiders may even characterize them as grim. Few people live in the High Litha. Almost all are miners and warriors, defending their peaks and mining quicksilver out of the icy mines. They survive in part from offerings given by the lower provinces. The lands below revere the poor, harsh folk of the High Litha. These peaks are seen as the keepers of deep truth of the Ro. When there are disputes among the clans of the hills and coasts, the Ras of the High Litha is often called to adjudicate. More important, when the Rokaj is occupied by invaders, which has happened many times, the folk of the High Litha are often the ones who decide when an uprising is called for. When the support of the High Litha is lost, the Rokaj turns violent very quickly. Haven mostly leaves the High Litha alone. Their empire learned early on that there is nothing to be gained in trying to intimidate these folk. Watcher Krenlin. There's an old graying scarecrow of a man sitting alone at this table. Empty shelves loom above him. The guards keep their distance. He's not a Havenite. He is a man of the High Litha, clad in heavy, worn leather. He doesn't rise to meet you, but he does motion for you to sit with him and have tea. Hello. You are the prince. Your presence is noted. He makes a note on a sheet of parchment. I am Watcher Krenlin. You are from the High Litha. I am. Born here. Serve here. I would like to learn more about the High Litha. You should. And you will. Good? Perhaps. We only care about what you do, not what you think. You wait for elaboration. None comes. Doesn't seem like the High Lithans talk a lot. We don't. Oh. After a moment, Krenlin sighs. We are not as cold as Havenites think. We come together, tell tales, dance, laugh, live human lives. We are slow to trust outsiders. We are most open with our clans and our cousin clans. Alright. What is a Watcher? We are High Lithans honored for our wisdom and clear eyes. We are sent out into the world to watch. Here, I watch you. And why did the High Lithans send out Watchers? The High Lithans are honored. We hold the deep truth of the Ro. Watchers find where our people stray from our truth. And why exactly are you watching Haven? It is a troubled time. There is chaos, and Haven has remembered that we exist. I have to watch Haven. What you decide will affect us. Can I ask you about something? I watch. I know much. If I can, I will share. I need to talk to your Rasa. Oh. Rasa Suharum is usually in Jajayam. If he is not there, he is sure to be in one of our other cities. All the shelves here are empty. Yes, your chief and governor have made many interesting decisions recently. That is all. I wish you a safe visit to the High Litha and a safe departure. Interesting decisions indeed. I am very, very curious. That's just a Haven Sage. Let's see, in here... Okay, that's a room we'd be staying in if we chose to rest. Haven Soldier there. Nothing of note in here. That door is locked, interestingly enough. Okay. And are there any messages at the mirror? The mirror starts to sparkle when you pass by. This is the Great Uprising. I think we've read that one. Got an achievement, Budding Sage. Yeah, I believe I read that. Okay, let's see what messages we have at the mirror. When you approach the mirror, it fills with reddish, turbulent mist. You hear Sutter's voice. Rupert, I've had a report. You have entered the High Litha. He sounds agitated. What's wrong? My list of tasks increases by the day, and I can't possibly keep up. Feel lucky you only have one vassal state to babysit. The High Litha. You entered it? I have. I see. What do you think? I don't have a strong impression yet. You will have one soon. The air is thin and cold up there. It forges the roe, makes them hard. You'll have to be very careful. The High Litha contains 2 great treasures. 2 treasures? Quicksilver! That is what they mine and trade to be able to survive up there on that barren, icy rock. But there is a greater treasure. Their approval. I could use more quicksilver. I'm sure you can, but that fluid can be obtained in many places. You will need to find sources of it in the High Litha, but it is not the most important thing to find. Their approval. The High Litha keeps all the traditions of the Rokaj. When the Ro is confused, they turn to the hard people of the High Litha for judgment. They are truly independent in their minds. It is very important for you to stay on their good side. Why does Haven tolerate their independence? They are obedient to us, but their thoughts are free. Haven does not care what our vassals think of us, as long as they remain peaceful and obedient. How can I make them love us? You can't. They will never ever love us. The Ro is too wild and free for that. Independence will always be the dream of their hearts. You need to keep them from picking up swords. What do I need to do? The High Litha are obedient to our laws. They hold the wildness and independence of the Ro as their deep truth, but they tell their people to tolerate us. For now. You need to make sure that doesn't change. You need to check in with our governor. I don't expect any problems there. But you also need to talk to their Rasa. That is the hardest part. You need to... What? What happened? Rupert, I have had news. We need to conclude this. The governor won't be a problem. Our governor in the High Litha only needs to do one thing. Nothing. Make sure our woman there is doing plenty of nothing. That will keep the Rasa from growing angry. How do I deal with their Rasa? You need to convince them that they have nothing to gain from forcing Haven to crush them. Find him. Say nice things. If he submits to you, all of the Ro will. Conclude your business there. I need you elsewhere. Sutter's voice fades out. The mist clears. More messages. When you approach the mirror, it fills with red mist. When Delia starts to talk, most people would consider her tone very calm and controlled. You know better. She only pulls out that icy tone when she is very, very angry. My brother, I assume you have heard by now. Rasa Elha, leader of the Gentle Coast, has been assassinated. I heard. This is very bad news. Worse than that, it is an insult. A powerful official, favored and loyal to Haven, incinerated in daylight. This must be answered. First the raids, then the attack on you, now this. The Ro must be pacified. What do we know? This was no alley stabbing. This was a serious attack with the involvement of powerful magic. This was a hired assassination by enemies with considerable power and resources. Who hired the assassin? Completely unknown. However, they are probably the same ones who have been destabilizing the region, including the attack on you. We will send spies and investigators as soon as we can. Who did the killing? We're trying to find out. Unfortunately, it was probably the work of the Geldnas, the Assassin's Guild of the Rokaj. Bad news if true. The Geldnas usually only kill those who don't follow the deep truths of the Ro. For them to kill one loyal to us. What effect will this have on the Ro? Delia's composure breaks. Who knows? Nothing good. The Ro are wild people, barely controllable on the best day, and this killing has made us look like fools. Utter fools! And I assume you have advice for me. You hear a sigh. You can picture her shaking her head. You have a mission. Carry it out. Leave. The violence necessary to beat down the Ro doesn't require you to be there. You think they'll try to kill me? I think they already have. Prince, I want you to come home. It's just not possible yet. Don't do anything reckless. What should I do? Same as before. You need to finish your business there. Approve the governors, pacify the surviving Rasas. Just do it quickly and safely. These assassins are dangerous. They will be hunted down. We have people for that. You don't need to worry about it. I'll do my best to get things under control. I trust you, Rupert. You have come so far, but... know your limits. The Queen's orders were very clear. Just do it quickly and safely. I must go now. Urgent briefing. Watch yourself, Rupert. We're worried about you. Her voice fades. More. When you approach the mirror, you hear your mother's voice. Prince, I will talk to you. We must talk. Her voice seems strange. distant, unfocused. It is strange, probably a wavering in the enchantment of the mirror. I have had a report. You have regained control of a fourth fort. I am ready to make a report. Oh, that can wait until later. It is not important. Someone else will take care of it. Mother, are you all right? I am fine. Of course. I was just thinking. How you are traveling the row alone. Not like before, when you were young. When your father was alive. All of us took a trip to the Rocage. Diplomacy, I suppose, but also a rare vacation. Do you remember it? I remember very little. Just images. Unfortunate, but not a surprise. Still, I wanted the clean row air in your lungs. You were a difficult child. I thought it would calm you. Foolish. The row never calms anyone. I wish I could help you remember that trip. So many things happened. Such as? We all went riding up into the High Litha. To see the Mist-Talkers. To have them see you. Your brother and sister were so small, but they rode alone. You sat in your father's lap. We rode over the snow. We came to an old crypt. There an old Mist-Talker woman spoke with us. And what did you learn? Oh, she pretended to talk to the shades. Gave us all fortunes. Great fortune. Good health. The standard pap. Did nothing for your father. But then she came to you and... She said you were touched. Watched by the spirits. She said you would... Yes? I don't know. I don't remember now. Good work on the fort. We'll talk soon. Her voice fades. More messages. When you approach the mirror, it fills with wisps of mists and agitated sparks of light. The Queen speaks to you. My child, I have contacted you as quickly as I could. The news came to me quickly. Rasa Elha was assassinated in Lascara. She was one of our closest allies in that savage land. Her death is a loss and very worrying. I have heard. Then you must appreciate how dangerous this is. Someone was brave enough, mad enough to kill a leader who supported Haven. This is an attack on us, not as bad as trying to kill you in Sutta, but it demands a strong response. Who killed Elha? Most likely the Guild Nas, the Assassins Guild of the Rocage. That is not the key question. The question is, who hired them? What should I do about the Guild Nas? Nothing. They are an integral part of the Rocage politics, and thus we shouldn't tamper with them without great care. The person who ordered the assassination is our target. What do you know about the assassination? Rasa Elha was killed by an explosion. A magical trap and a ceremonial gift. She lacked the magical protections I had placed on you. She was charred along with some of her guards. An expensive and highly skilled bit of work. How do we proceed from here? We have given this thought. We must not show weakness. We have agents. Investigations are happening. Our armies are being moved. In the meantime, continue your mission as before. Hear the Rasa petitions. Evaluate our governors. Why is the Rocage fighting us? It is their way. Every vassal has some malcontents. It is the way of the row that their rebels will be bloodier and more headstrong than most. Perhaps I was a little neglectful, but you are there now. Soon they will have nothing to complain about. I will redouble my efforts to calm the Rocage. That is wise. Most of their wild folk still welcome the presence of Haven. Completing your mission will calm and reassure them. It is the best thing you can do. Good luck, my child. The mirror returns to normal. And that is all. Alright, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. Next episode, we're going to rebuild our fort and see what Teresa will be as a member of the High Litha. But that'll be in the next episode, because this one's gone on long enough. So until then, I am Chester44, also known as Vilai. That is Rupert, Elspeth, Terrence, and Patricia. This has been a Let's Play of Queen's Wish 2, The Tormentor. And I shall see you all next time.